Early 2014 was the release of the first trailer for the new Marvel film, Guardians of the Galaxy. It doesn't really matter at this point whether the film is going to be good or not. However, it will be interesting to see what happens during the first few weeks of the film's release after opening day. Mainly because it's going to be interesting to see how it fares with fans, the movie-going audience, and how the events of this film intertwine with the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The movie was mainly given attention mainly because of the fact that it's a film featuring a talking raccoon and a talking tree that happened to be based on a comic book. And mostly based on the fact that this film was getting released in an age where we haven't even got a Wonder Woman movie yet. And because of the fact that there's a load of well-known people in the cast. And the first two trailers that had the use of the songs Hooked on a Feeling and Spirit in the Sky. The attention this film was getting was more and more interesting. Oh, even I got excited for it. So, now that the film is finally released, is it any good? First things first, the story isn't exactly the most original plot in the world. It's your basic MacGuffin plot of our main heroes trying to find an object before the main villain does. In this case, our heroes include Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, Drax the Destroyer, Gamora, Groot, and Rocket Raccoon. They become a team along the way, and they encounter and have to defeat Ronan the Accuser. They also encounter other threats like the Ravagers, the Nova Corps, and hijinks ensue, along with Chaos. So, now that the excitement of the movie has been made, now that the movie is finally released, now all the waiting is over with. In a year that has given us some very good comic book movies, is this movie one of those great comic book movies? Is this movie any good? Well, now that I've finally got to see the film, I can safely say
Yes! Yes!
seriously guys, there are so many things this movie does right, I don't even know where to begin. First things first, the Marvel films have been known to have great action, effects, makeup, costumes, etc. And this time they have outdone themselves. All the production design is absolutely amazing. The effects and CGI absolutely outstanding. Each location, creature, weapon, etc. has their own unique designs which makes them feel, well, unique. And can I just say how well they are done as well? All the prosthetic is absolutely fantastic. And the CGI, good fucking god. Rocket Raccoon and Groot are possibly some of the best effects this movie has to offer. Not just in the movements, but in also the designs, the look. It feels like wood and fur has been added to these characters. Next up, the characters. We have 5 new members of the Marvel Universe to establish, and all of them are done excellently. They all look great, they all perform great, the actions they do are great, and all of them are really funny as well, given out all 5 performances. Particularly Chris Pratt and Bradley Cooper being the highlights of the film who ended up seeing the show. I knew they were going to be funny, but damn, they outdone themselves this time. This is really impressive, to say the least. And going on to the comedy, good god, this film is hilarious. Marvel films like The Avengers and Iron Man 3, For the Dark World have all had comedy before, and this is probably the funniest film Marvel has done. The humour, the timing, the performances, all of it is done well and it ends up being very funny as a result. However, one downside is the villain. Sure, he's a great presence, but that's all Ronan is. A menacing presence done well by a good actor. Seriously, for a guy who's known to be unstoppable, indestructible and tough, he only has one action scene. That's it. Hell, Nebula, his second in command, does more than he does. As someone who isn't familiar with the comics as most people, Ronan's nothing to me but an intergalactic Thor, but with a bigger hammer and blue skin. Although, in all seriousness, it's just adding more great things to something that's already freaking perfect. Overall, in terms of superhero films this year, Guardians of the Galaxy is by far one of the best we had. The year has already given us some very good comic book films already. This is another great one. And now it's going to be very interesting to see how this contrasts with its sequel, the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, such as the Avengers, and... Wait, Howard the Duck? Howard the Duck is now a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Wait, what the fuck?